Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Checks and Balances TV. Today's program is entitled Back to School. The sandwich generation is in a jam. So let's see how today's news may impact your financial future. Millions of students nationwide headed back to school last month, and it's important to remember who has been supporting them financially. But there is also a growing number of Americans across the U.S. who have taken on the even greater responsibility of financially supporting both their children and their parents. Almost 10 million working Americans are stuck in the middle of both generations, making them part of the sandwich generation. Of those parents who have child care responsibilities, more than a quarter of them also provided elder care in the last 5 years. And nearly half of those who are raising their own children expect to care for a parent within the next 5 years, according to the Council on Contemporary Families. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates the number of Americans 65 and older will more than double between the year 2010 and 2050, which means the sandwich generation will continue to get squeezed. Okay, so what's really going on here? Let's check the facts using our checks and balances process. Putting together a solid financial plan is difficult enough during a tough economy. But more and more Americans are facing the added stress of caring for both their children and their elderly family members. The majority of people who are taking on this dual responsibility are between the ages of 28 and 42, according to the Council of Contemporary Families. However, more than 1/3 are between ages 43 and 61, at a time when they should be putting away a significant amount of money towards their own retirement. Nearly half, 47% of all caregivers are taking care of more than one elder parent, and more than 1/4, 28%, are currently financially responsible for multiple children and more than one parent. Caregivers have also lost a significant amount of income and benefits by caring for their parents, according to a recent MetLife study of more than 1,100 adults living with at least one parent. The study estimates that the nation's 9.7 million caregivers have lost a collective $3 trillion in wages, pension benefits, Social Security contributions, and retirement savings over their lifetime, as they had to cut their hours or quit their jobs altogether to care for their aging parents. MetLife reported that the number of adult children over the age of 50 caring for their parents has more than tripled since 1994. Okay, so now that we've checked the facts, let's balance this news using our checks and balances process to determine what action you should take today. As the 65-plus population continues to grow at a record-breaking pace, so do the needs and costs for long-term care. And the already high costs for child care and college are also continuing to rise, setting new records on an annual basis. In fact, a recent study conducted by the National Association of Child Care Resource and Referral Agencies found that in 36 states, 1 year of infant daycare is more expensive than a year of public college. Who could have believed it? Those who care for both of their parents and their children are facing an uphill battle with little financial relief in sight. However, a family-run business called Bright Star Care saw the need to cater to the unique needs of the sandwich generation, and after opening its doors in 2002, began providing in-home care for families who had both young children as well as elderly parents. The company's founders, J.D. and Shelley Sun, knew what it was like to be sandwiched themselves, since they took care of a grandparent while raising their twins. They came up with the idea of Bright Star to provide a combination of affordable adult and child care services for those in need. Bright Star became a franchise in 2005, expanding to over 200 locations in 36 states, with a goal of 400 by the end of 2012. Shelley was also featured in a CBS television series called Undercover Boss that was broadcast nationwide on April 17th of this year, giving her the opportunity to share her story about the work her company does, and to let people know that there is some real help for those individuals stuck in the sandwich generation. Okay, so what's the bottom line here? So as you can see, the sandwich generation is in quite a financial jam, and the outlook appears to only be getting worse. An estimated 10,000 boomers will be celebrating their 65th birthday each day for the next 18 years, and many of them will one day require long-term care assistance. Those who did not plan ahead may be forced to rely on their children for needed care, and that burden of caring for them may eventually be too much for their children to handle, leaving them with little options other than government-assisted care. AARP estimated the economic value of unpaid caregiving to be $450 billion a year. And according to the U.S. Administration on Aging, 22% of caregivers are helping 2 family members, and more than a third of those are currently caring for 3 or more. While these caregivers are giving a great gift to the older generation, they could potentially be shorting themselves of financial freedom in retirement. You know, there are no scholarships for retirement. So if you don't care for yourself, as well as your children and parents, who will care for you when you retire? And now for Matt's weekly financial tip, tool, or technique. If you're part of the sandwich generation, no matter how difficult supporting your parents may be, if at all possible, don't quit your job while caring for them. If you do, you will lose important income and benefits that you will never be able to recover again in the future. To help ease the financial burden of caring for elderly parents, look into the following 4 benefits. Number 1, public benefits. There are many community services available that may be able to help you pay for some of the costs of caring for your parents. The website www.benefitscheckup.org has helped many people already. As a matter of fact, nearly 3 million of them find more than $10 billion worth of annual benefits. Number 2, employer benefits. Check with your employer to find out what benefits are available to you that will keep you in the workforce, but also allow you to help your family in their time of need. Rather than quitting your job for a medical emergency, check with your employer about their flex time policy and the Family and Medical Leave Act, so you can stay in the workforce while caring for your relative. The third benefit is look into Medicaid and Medicare. Medicare does not cover everything and can be costly when it comes to premiums and deductibles. However, find out if your parents qualify for Medicaid, which can provide additional assistance to help pay for their out-of-pocket health care and long-term care expenses. And the fourth benefit to look for is be sure to compare costs. Calculate what it would cost to keep your loved one at home rather than having them in an assisted living facility or nursing home. There are many resources available today that enable an older person to stay in their home. Services such as Meals on Wheels, adult daycare, and in-home modifications may be enough to keep them living semi-independently. The most important thing to consider if you are caught in the middle of the sandwich generation is that it is very difficult to help others effectively until you help yourself first. Making things easier on you will allow you to give more time and energy to your loved ones. Be sure to log on to our website and download our featured free report entitled 10 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. A free report that gives you 10 easy steps to achieving enough money in life to do the things important to you without financial worry. And finally, remember that only you can control your financial future. You can succeed. You just need confidence and determination. I'm Matthew J. Reddick from Checks and Balances TV. Until next week, dump debt, invest wisely, believe in yourself, and make it happen.